Hello, I'm Smitha Tripathi. I'm going to present on Introduction to Organizations and its Context, which is the first in a series of presentations, in a series of 10 presentations on management and leadership of organizations. By the end of this session, you will be able to explain what is meant by organizations, describe the organizational structure, culture, behavior, context, and strategy, and explain Morgan's conceptions of organizations. Defining organizations poses difficulties and involves complexities. Think of organizations that you know: political parties, private companies, big businesses, police, local authority, schools, colleges, social clubs. The list can go on and on. However, you need to think, are all these organizations same in terms of their structure, culture, the processes and practices that they follow? Do they have similarities? And if so, what are these similarities? What are the differences? Think about the Roman Catholic Church or the Church of England. Are those organizations in the sense of the Conservative Party or Lloyd's TSB? What about teams or less organized groups? What about trade unions or student unions or a charity like Oxfam? How do they differ? Organizations are not the same. They differ according to size, structure, culture, age, sector, the scope, location and boundaries, aims and objectives, the technologies that they use, the processes that they undergo, their characteristics, job designs, management and employee profile. All these factors can distinguish one organization from the other. However, all of them have one main element: people and other resources, goal and structure. So organizations are bounded and purposeful systems with their own structures, specified goals and purposes, processes and practices, and resources, including people. They are collectives of people bound in formal and less formal structures and relationships to achieve specified objectives which change over time. Organizations are complex, and they are social and political systems. They can be quite different from one another. Recognizing this and taking a broad perspective on the nature of organizations and organizational behavior, Morgan, in his classic written in 1989, identified 8 different types of organizations. These are 8 different ways of viewing organizations as machines, organisms, brain, cultures, political systems, psychic prisons, flux and transformation, and instruments of control. These contrasting metaphors enable understanding of the complexities of organizations in explaining the complex nature of organizations and in critically analyzing organizational life. Organizations have been defined variously by scholars and academicians. Barney and Griffin, in their classic The Management of Organizations, Strategy, Structure and Behavior, defined organizations as collections of people working together in a coordinated and structured fashion to achieve one or more goals. Thompson and McHugh talk about consciously created arrangements to achieve goals by collective means, whereas others have defined organizations differently, emphasizing social arrangements or relationships or planned coordination for the achievement of some common purpose or goal. Inherent in these definitions is the division of labor, of functions, and a hierarchy of authority and responsibility. Think of the organizations you know and how they differ: business organizations, political organizations, and public organizations. Think, would teams constitute an organization? Why not? Can you use Morgan's conceptualization of organization as metaphors to analyze the nature of these organizations? In 500 words, can you analyze any two of these organizations, comparing and contrasting them? Do you get any additional insights by using Morgan's metaphors? Looking at all these different organizations and comparing and contrasting them, we can surmise that organizations are formally composed and structured. There are three main kinds of organizations: private, public, and not-for-profit, or the third sector. Boundaries between them are themselves becoming blurred, and hybrids like public-private partnerships, networked organizations, virtual organizations are beginning to emerge and are here to stay. They reveal the remarkable resilience of organizations in managing complexity and change. Managing and leading are as crucial to organizations as organizations are fundamental to managers and leaders. The one is as crucial as the other. Both need each other. A very complex relationship exists between organizations and their managers and leaders. As per the classical model described by Fayol as far back as 1916, managers, and one might include leaders, plan, organize, and control the acquisition, usage, and withdrawal of resources to enable organizations to pursue their specified goals. The question, why organize is as interesting as why manage and lead. And there are no easy or formulaic answers. There is a mutual need based on numerous factors and contexts in which the organizations operate. Organizational structure defines the division of work and enables coordination and flow of communication between positions and levels, which makes possible the process and practice of management. It provides the skeleton for the exercise of power, the change of command and control. It determines how organization will use information, how communication will flow, either easing it or making obstructions for the smooth flow of information and communication. The management guru Peter Drucker, in his 1989 classic The Practice of Management, attributed organizational performance to correct design of organizational structure. Organizational culture is conceptually very complex and not easy to define or to describe. Its origins can be traced to the disciplines of anthropology and sociology. Members have an intuitive understanding about it, which often is difficult to express. Popularly, organizational culture is the way we do things here. The norms, the traditions, the values, the beliefs, attitudes, and assumptions which are inherent in organizational life, which grow and develop along with the organization. Handy, in 1993 edition of his Understanding Organizations, described 4 main types of organizational culture: power, role, task, and person. And this is a very useful way of analyzing organizational culture. This typology assists analysis of organizational culture. Organization and its strategy is mutually linked. By strategy, we mean vision, the direction, the raison d'être, the core business of the organization. It is the collection of decisions through which managerial processes and capabilities are aligned to the environment. Miles and Snow, 1978 Organizational Strategy, Structure and Processes, proposed that corporations can be organized according to 4 types of strategies: prospector, analyzer, defender, and reactor. Strategy formulation is the responsibility of top management and thus may be related to environmental conditions. Organizational behavior is the study of individuals, groups, organizations, and the context in which they are situated. It includes their needs, the challenges they face in order to realize their potential and take advantage of the opportunities within the environment of. It includes the relationship between individuals and the organization, which can be analyzed through the concept of psychological contract. Psychological contract between the individual and the organization is usually informal and exists as a series of mutual expectation based on the needs which have to be satisfied through the people, work, organization relationship. Scholars have different perspectives on organizational behavior. Often organizational behavior benefits by using a multidisciplinary perspective to analyze it. Organizations are not stationary or stable. In time, they change, they adapt, they disappear. Longevity or sustainability of organizations is a big challenge to managers and leaders. The changing nature of organization is impacted by many factors, including globalization, the interplay of economy, markets, and different players. The decline of the rigidity of traditional boundaries has impacted and influenced organizations. Increasingly, a very demanding customer has to be satisfied by organizations within a knowledge economy where people, the customers, are very aware and have information or access to information at the touch or click of a mouse button. The ICT revolution, the revolution of telecommunication, office automation, internet services, has had a very big impact on the nature of organizations. It has created greater flexibility and has made demands on the employees as well as on leaders and managers who manage employees, resources, and their partners and stakeholders in different ways than earlier. Organizations do not exist in a vacuum. They are situated in a dynamic organizational context. There is constant interaction with the environment, a necessary to and fro flow between them, between organizations and its environment. Organizations take the inputs from the environment and convert it into outputs. Organizations must respond to the opportunities and challenges in the environment. Organizations bring or drive changes in the environment. A SWOT analysis or PESTLE or STEEPLE are all analytical tools which can be used to analyze organizations and their contexts. However, it is crucial in these dynamic changing times to take a systems approach to studying or analyzing organizations and their contexts. There are numerous influences on organizations, and the list can go on and on. Pressure groups, various competitors within the same sector, and sometimes from different sectors, suppliers, vendors, shareholders, or other financing bodies. All these have an impact on organizations. The carrying out of economic activity, the social attitudes which customers, employees, stakeholders have, the local and the national context, the global context within which organizations are situated, international policies, employee and professional organization, customers, all can influence organizations in many ways. There is a list of references, useful references at the end of your presentations. It is easy to find in the library as well as look it up on the internet. Thank you and hope you enjoyed this presentation. Bye for now